Let's look at the top 5 best Town Hall 12 attacks to use in 2021, and we're going to explain all of them. What's going on, guys? My name's Corrupt. Let's start at number 5, the Queen Charge Hybrid. Normally, you want to take a look at where the clan castle is, and this is going to help you identify where you want to enter into. Mainly, you want to try and create a funnel and get rid of other structures, such as the Eagle Artillery, maybe a multi-Inferno, and of course, a scatter shot or two. This is just going to really help the rest of your attack get through the base. So normally, you want to start off by creating the funnel and starting your queen. That way, what you're able to then do is if there's something like an air defense like you see here, you can wait on those healers. That way you can then drop in the healers once the air defense is taken down. But you're going to create the funnel, make sure that the queen is easily going into the base. You also mainly want to make sure that you're using maybe a couple Coco Loons to protect the healers from any seeking air mines. That way you can protect your queen for longer. Usually you want to use the rage spell in order to get through the enemy CC troops, and that way it's easily starting to work in. Usually the Lava Hound is going to be a big time waster for you, so you may want to use a couple more rage spells to get through that. Use a poison to take care of lava pups, and also going ahead and using some minions to speed that process up in getting rid of those lava pups. Then you can start creating the funnel on the other side by using the king and the siege barrack, since that is really the best way in terms of creating the opposite side of the funnel. The siege barrack is a great siege that you can bring to do just that. Remember, you want to create a solid funnel that what you're doing is you're funneling this area out, you have funneled this area out, and then you could send in your hybrid straight to the town hall. Now, this does mean as well that if you create the funnel on two different sides, you can actually send your hybrid through the middle of the base in case there is a town hall in the core. So you have those options. But you can see that the queen is going to play wall breaker, but you'll be able to easily get through the wall and start your hybrid. Normally, how you want to do this is you want to go ahead and use the Warden Eternal Tome as you get closer to the town hall, since you want to be able to get rid of it. Usually using the Warden Eternal Tome over that is going to make it a little bit easier. Now, unfortunately, the queen dies here, but you've got the use of the healers. This is known as a healer swap. You're going to be able to have the healers go from your queen all the way on to what matters most, the hogs and the miners. Normally, I would recommend using a freeze spell to sort of save them through the scatter shot, but the healers really provide a ton of support, and it could provide you with a lot. It's almost like an angel being able to really protect the miners and hog riders as they get through the back end of the base. And you've got a very simple funnel, which is the reason why the siege barrack is great. You've got the heroes, the wizards, the P.E.K.K.A still moving across here, while you've got the hybrid moving all the way up top. That's exactly what you're doing. And sometimes you may want to use that royal champ ability to get through, but the main goal is to get through the rest of it, have that scatter shot, and take a look at all of these troops that he still has. King is still up, Royal Champ is still up, Warden's still up, he still has a ton of hogs and miners, he's got barbarians from the ability, and he's got wizards and P.E.K.K.As. It's an absolute smashing attack, and something that you should be trying out using even if you have low-level heroes or you're new to Town Hall 13. Next up in the number 4 spot, we have the Golem Avalanche with 8 earthquake spells. This is an absolutely incredible attack that is so easy to use here at Town Hall 12, even if you don't really have max level heroes. So for starters, you are using 8 earthquake spells. You're going to be able to get all the way across the base, even if the town hall is in the core. You're going to use a group of 4 earthquake on one side and 4 on the other in case the town hall is in the core of the base. Now, if the town hall is not, then you could still use 4 earthquake spells to activate the town hall, but use another group to at least open up another wall. That way you're able to easily get through the rest of the base with the witches, the super wizards, and your heroes with the log launcher. Now, this allows the log launcher to take down the town hall since its health is very low. So you're going to start by creating the funnel on 2 different sides. One side by using a couple of the Super Wizards, Golem, and the Witch, doing the same thing on the other, and sending your troops in. Mainly, you want to make sure that you use the jump spell so you can get your heroes in and any other troops, because they will prioritize the jump before the wall is broken. You can also send in your Royal Champ, since you may want to support your troops, especially if you're going into an enemy hero. But you mainly also want to see this. Take a look at how this Town Hall is going to go down to the log launcher. Absolutely incredible stuff. Even if the Royal Champ does have to pop her Royal Champ Seeking Shield, you can use the invisibility spells. This is a hidden thing that is very useful, and it protects the Royal Champ from taking too much damage, and it could actually protect her from other things like the enemy king that could sense her. So you want to be able to really make sure that you're getting through. But outside of that, you've got so much on the base. I mean, take a look. You've got a ton of Super Wizards and Witches on one side. You've got so many little Larrys. You've got Yetis in the log launcher. And that way you're able to easily work your way all the way across the base. And it just makes it easier for everything to work through. So if you're looking for an easy Town Hall 13 attack strategy, look no further to this attack. It is absolutely wild on how easy it is, and it could really easily get you triples regardless. And this is exactly something that you should be trying out using in your next war, possibly, as this is extremely powerful. Next up at number 3, the Inferno Dragons plus skeleton spells. This is an absolutely strong yet fun attack to use. Now, for starters, you want to go ahead and use your heroes, your king and queen, to create one side of the funnel. That way, what you're able to then do is use the Electro Dragon or any other units to create the other side of the funnel on the other side. Normally, you would want to use an E-Drag, but if you don't want to use one, you can use a Yeti and Baby Dragon. That seems to be another useful combination as well. You can also go ahead and use a lightning spell, a couple lightning spells, to get rid of a sweeper in case it can be a general nuisance for the rest of your attack. So you just want to consider those small things as you're getting through. So for starters, you may want to start by using the 2 lightning spells to take care of a sweeper. That way, you can then start with your king and queen. This way you're creating a small but mighty funnel on this particular area, getting rid of an air defense. Now, while that's going on, you can go ahead and create the other side of the funnel with the Electro Dragon. Now, in this case here, I don't think the attacker wanted to activate the Town Hall with the E-Drag, but it's all good, because even if you activate it, you can use a Battle Blimp to take care of the Town Hall. So now you've got the Inferno Dragons moving in. This is where you can use an early Warden ability, which you're usually going to do, and start deploying your skeleton spells. You're going to be able to slowly sort of weaken up those buildings, but distract them is the main thing. That way you can get your blimp to go right over to the Town Hall, you can use a rage spell with it, and that way it gets to the Town Hall with no problem. Now you've got to use the skeleton spells to distract, because now you want to start distracting different defenses for the Royal Champion, making it a little bit easier for everything to move through. Those skeletons have the shields, which makes them survive 1 extra hit, so it's very useful. But you want to use those skeleton spells in order to make sure that they are being distracted. Even the heroes and the scatter shots will just be mostly stuck on those skeletons. So you want to be able to easily work through it. Even if you've already used your Royal Champ ability, you've got the skeletons that are going to easily start distracting. And at this point, even if you lose the rest of your heroes, you've still got Inferno Dragons. As long as they take care of a air defense that's on the back end, this is an absolute easy way to crush through. Usually you can't do this at the lower levels since you don't have the Royal Champ to clean up the rest of it, and sometimes it might even be beneficial to hold a freeze and save that for the Royal Champion, or even save a skeleton spell. So normally that is just going to really depend upon the base, but usually you want to be able to easily start working your way through. The Inferno Dragons will be able to get through as long as they don't find any Seeking Air Mines, of course, but absolutely, this is an attack that is a must learn, because this is very easy, though it takes a lot of time to master, since you got to really know the timing of those skeleton spells and the placement. Next up in the number 2 spot, the Super Witches. Now, this attack is incredibly easy, though it will work with some more mid-level heroes, so this will be a little bit better to save a little bit later on in your Tunnel 13 journey. Normally, you're going to start this off with a Warden Walk, and then you're also going to use the lightning spells to take care of a Scatter Shot. This is a very quick way to speed up your Warden. Normally, you want to start this attack off creating the funnel with the Warden. That way, you can actually work your way in for the Town Hall. That is the main defense that you want to go in towards. So you want to start by using possibly something like a Super Wall Breaker to open up that wall for you. Then you could start sending everything in. Now, sometimes you got to be very careful of the Warden, because you don't want him to get stuck or just completely have to use his Warden Eternal Tome. So be very careful on that. But you're going to create the funnel on the other side with the King and Siege Barrack, so you can go ahead and start sending in your Super Witches. So you want to be able to make sure that you're able to get through the Lava Hound like you see up top, and creating the funnel with the Siege Barrack and the King. This way you can actually lure the Warden and Queen over by using the Super Wizard or Super Witches. That way you also have a solid funnel here set up thanks to both sides. That way you can start entering in directly towards the Town Hall. Now this is where you would want to use a jump spell or another Super Wall Breaker or two. You want to be able to get all the way across the base. So using some Super Wall Breakers is a great choice. Using the Warden Eternal Tome to make sure the Wall Breaker gets all the way across the base is another great choice. You're going to use the Rage spells to get through, and unfortunately the Queen had to pop her ability, but still being able to easily move through is exactly what you want. You want to be able to have the Hog Riders from the Siege Barrack along with the Royal Champ move through. Now you also want to make sure that the healers go from your heroes to the Super Witches. The healers plus Super Witches is so devastating that you're going to be able to absolutely wreck any base, because the Super Witches cannot die underneath healers. So that way you're going to be able to continue to move through. Sometimes you may want to use the you may want to use a couple of Headhunters to get through something like an enemy King. That way you don't need to really worry about that too much, and you don't have to force the Royal Champ ability. Even if you're going into an area like this where you have to deal with all these other defensive structures, you can always just go ahead and use that Royal Champ ability to get through the Teslas, since it will either weaken up or destroy Teslas. And that way, you can easily work through the base with no problem at all. Even if the Royal Champ is your final hero left up, you have so much power thanks to those Super Witches. At the number 1 spot, we have the Blizzard Lalo. Now, normally what you're going to be starting this attack off with is the Blizzard. Normally, you want to go in for a particular area that is close to the Queen. You can use a Lava Hound to tank to get deeper into the base. Use a freeze on the Air Sweeper. That way, you're able to get rid of a couple structures around the base. This includes things like single Infernos, air defenses, Expos, scatter shots, single Infernos, or multi, and also the enemy Queen, making it so much easier for the rest of your attack to easily get through. Now, you can also go ahead and use that in other areas, such as getting rid of a Town Hall, since that is a good thing to get rid of. But sometimes it may not go to plan, but you should be alright, since the Lalo can still work its way to the Town Hall as long as you have free spells. So you want to be able to use the Blizzard to create a small but yet mighty funnel. Then what you want to go ahead and start going into is the Town Hall compartment. You're going to start this off by dealing with the enemy clan castle troops. You can bring in a couple smaller troops like a balloon and a couple minions. That way what you're able to then do is slowly but surely start weakening up the Lava Hound. But you want to make sure that you're going in towards the Town Hall, using a poison to deal with the enemy CC troops. That way you can use your King to go in the right direction, directly in for the Town Hall. And this is a very simple way to really use the Blizzard Lalo. You want to be able to use your heroes to possibly get rid of an area like this to make it easier for you to start moving in. Mostly you want to use a couple sneaky goblins or other units to control where the queen goes. That way she goes in right behind the king. That way you can easily start moving through. The king acts as your tank, so you want to be able to make sure you're doing that. So as you've created a solid enough area, you can start with the Lalo portion. Usually you want to look at the air defenses as a point A, point B, and then also into a point C. That way it's a little bit easier for everything to work through. Now the main goal though is you want to create sort of a stream. So you want to start and creating a funnel on one side and doing the same thing on the other, so that way the Lalo portion becomes stronger as you're going through. That way it's a little bit easier, exactly how Carbon Fin said it. Now if you're dealing with something like the enemy Royal Champion, use the Warden Eternal Tome and some Headhunters. Make sure that the Headhunters are underneath that Warden Eternal Tome. That way you're able to get through. Usually you're going to use the freeze and the haste spells over key defenses like single infernos and also scatter shots to get through those with no problem. You can also freeze up air defenses if indeed you think that is going to be a massive thing to get rid of. So you want to be able to make sure that you are protecting as many of your balloons as you can as you work through. And that's really how simple this attack can be. And hopefully I simplified the Blizzard Lalo for you. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell. Make sure to also go ahead and use my code. My code is code Corrupt, and use that in any Supercell game, and I'll be catching you in the next video. Corrupt, signing out.